Hello, hello. This is Truth Be Told podcast. I'm your host, Britt, and today we have episode number 47. What is Positive Vibes Only with Michelle? It's Michelle Podcast. How you doing today, Miss Michelle?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, babe.
I'm so excited to have you on the show. You know, I follow your channel, and let me just say, your energy is amazing.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, I love it. I love how you keep it real. I love how you just. I think when I'm looking for people and looking out for people, I always believe in divine connections, and I feel like you're one of them. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Stop.
But you know what? I'm not gonna take up most of your day. It's Saturday, and I hope you have any plans today.
Not really. I'm here for you, so don't worry about it. It's Saturday. It's cold,
It
but
is.
I'm here for you, so don't worry.
Thank you so much. Well, today on episode 47, we are definitely talking about positive vibes today. You know, I think it's very important to check your energy at the door. Like I told you before, I think a lot of us sometimes are not doing that. And so we're going to talk about that today.
Okay,
Uh, but
sure.
before
Let's
we
get
go
into it.
into it, Michelle, you got to let us know a little bit more about you. Guys, she's an entrepreneur. She's a podcast host. I know she has plenty of hats. I'm definitely excited to hear a little bit more about you today. So let me know what you got going on.
Well, I mean, I also have an everyday ratchet job.
Me too. Me too.
Listen, it is hard out here. And so I work with one of the physicians, and he's a team doctor for one of the New York sports teams. Sorry, my daughter's leaving.
Okay.
so, so it's very demanding. We're always very, very busy. And like I said, it's just ratchet, but I make the best of it, and it's okay because it is very fun. We're not going to complain about her because it's a job and we paying bills.
Right. I told my daughter the other day, I said, adulting is so ghetto, so ratchet. Like,
We weren't prepared for this.
we wasn't prepared. You know, Michelle, when I was growing up, I always thought, like I always say, I'm in a fairy tale. I still feel like I'm in a fairy tale. I feel like that $1 million, $1 billion that I'm looking for is going to drop one day.
Right.
And I'm just like, when we were growing up, I was always taught you go to school, get a good job, and then you have a good career, and then you'll make a lot of money. Well, I did some of that. And then I said, okay, where's the money? Like, it's 2022 and it is getting, like you said, it is really real out here. We're in the fourth quarter, guys. We're coming up on a new year. I'm so excited. Are you excited about the new year?
I mean, I'm excited to get over this year
That's how I feel.
because it's just been so crazy. It's been such up and down. And New York City is just a hot mess right now. So I'm just excited just to see if the new year brings anything just that's a little better than what we're going through right now.
Right. I
Yeah.
understand. What part of New York are you in?
I'm in the Heights, so I'm right in the city, but I'm like a little further uptown. And I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. There was this thing I saw. It was like a meme or something. It was like New York City is like a simulation. I do feel like I'm in GTA. Like people are about to get out their cars, come into my car, pull me out, and just drive off like we're in Miami Vice.
It's funny. I talk a lot about. I just moved. I moved to Houston, Texas. I'm from Salisbury, but I've been everywhere. Salisbury, North Carolina,
Mhm.
and I moved from North Carolina, and I just got a culture shock coming down here because it's big. I'm not used to so much going on, checking my surroundings, like you said. Somebody
Right.
could jump in your car, I've seen a lot of stuff since I've been here, and I've been around some stuff I shouldn't have been around. So I
Mm,
was just like, oh wow, I need to make sure that I'm paying attention to my surroundings and checking where I go. So I definitely understand how you feel.
yeah, it's not fun out here right now. And you're right. Just watching where you go, who's around you, who's behind you, are they walking too close? Why are they walking so slow? You really just have to analyze every little thing. And I'm just like, ah, I'd just rather
Yes.
work from home.
Because people are crazy. You know, the mental health is real. That's why I'm always talking about it. I focus my channel on it. I'm really big on just talking about whatever you're going through that day, whether you need to scream, shout, run around, cuss somebody out, it's
Mhm.
okay.
Right. Get it done, get it out of your system, and maybe you'll feel it's like a reset almost.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so when we talk about the topic today and we say, what is positive vibes? When I ask you that, what is your definition of positive vibes?
Let's see. Because I don't want it to be like a cliche answer, although I think it's going to be a cliche answer anyway. Because for me, positive vibes is just like, I, I feel like you can see and feel aura sometimes. And when somebody comes through the door, you're just like, oh, this person's uptight. This person's having a bad day. This person is off. For some reason, you yourself, you're like, all right, this feels off. And I think that's just positive vibes within itself. Like just knowing when somebody's walking in, they're not going to match your energy at all.
Right.
You know
You
what I
said the key word, matching energy. You know, I've always tried to come in a room, be joyous, be me. But sometimes you come in the room and you feel that energy at the door.
mean? Right.
Like the energy is like, wait a minute, something's not right. I had a best friend. I still love her to death. We're not as close as we used to be. But when I used to go around her network, the energy was always off for me, honey. And I would tell her, I would say something ain't right, and she would say, no, that's you. I say, no, that's them, honey,
Right.
because I know how I come in the room. I know how I present myself. So, but what I started doing was making sure I control only what I can control. We can't control what other people do. And I think that when we throw around that cliche title, like you said, positive vibes only, positive vibes. People are always saying that. And it is cliche, but at the end of the day, you can only control you.
Right. It's true. And I'm glad you mentioned because I did have a best friend who I no longer talk to. So there goes that. And she would always tell me, she's like, oh, girl, it's too early in the morning for you to be so happy. It's too early in the morning for you to be, yeah. I didn't even have my coffee yet. You sound like you had 20 cups of coffee already. I'm just like, No, I woke up same way
Right.
you did. I
I'm
woke
grateful. I'm grateful that God woke me up. I'm
right.
grateful for life. You know, I think the first thing sometimes social media has us just thrilled, honey. And
Yeah.
I really wish we could go back sometimes to the 90s where we wasn't so absorbed with social media and we were just living our life. We didn't
Mhm.
care what people thought and who saw us. It was just everyday life.
Yeah, I agree with that. So for me, social media is like a culture shock because I didn't have social media up until I started the podcast. And I'm like, this is the only way I have to, like put myself out there. So I've only had social media for about, I want to say 2 years, maybe,
I love that, Michelle. Oh my gosh, I love that. Why? Why? No,
because it was just
why?
it was a personal choice. Now,
Mhm.
I'll say way back when, like more than 10 years ago, I think I had like a Facebook account. And can I tell you, I just never logged into it. I don't know what happened to it. And this was very, very, very long ago. But after that, I didn't have social media up until I want to say, yeah, it has to be like 2 years ago. And it was like the best thing. Like people would talk to me about things. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right. Like you're in your own bubble.
I was always very lost. I didn't know, like, I wasn't a part, I didn't feel like I was part of that culture, that social media culture, because everybody would make jokes and like the memes of the week and all that stuff. And I'm just like, I have no clue what you're talking about, but I was okay with that. I was just like, I'm glad I don't know what you're talking about. It's too much. I don't have the time to
Right.
sit and just like post things or whatever. But now it's so different.
Is it draining for you to post for your podcast sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Ah,
And
I
it's not that I'm not trying to give out the message. Like I said, I'm always here trying to just use the real life stories that I've been through to share with people and to inspire them to not give up.
mhm.
Because what I've been seeing a lot of is, like as far as with mental health and everything, a lot of people are leaving us. They're leaving us too quick, and they're dying young, or they look old and they like 20. I'm like, damn, like how old are you? Like,
Right.
so
They look like they've been through the struggle.
girl, the struggle is real. The struggle is
Right.
definitely real. Can you give me a time when you've had to adjust your energy, like you said, match the room, and how did that make you feel if you wasn't like being yourself? If you've ever been through one of those situations,
Oof. So one of the times was it was with that particular friend. I always say ex best friend. I feel like it's very dramatic.
right?
Um, so we were out for it was her birthday, and it was like this like lounge we've never been to before, and it was kind of like VIP. You had to get in. It was like very difficult to get in. So finally we got in. It was her birthday, and for some reason, the people who were around, who were a lot of our other friends, their energy was just way off. So I just remember just being quiet but also having like this heightened sense of alertness because it's like any minute somebody's going to fight for no reason. I've never met them before. I've never hung out with them before. I introduced myself because this is just who I am. Hi,
Right.
And they were like, "Hey," they all smiled in my face. But as soon as everything was said and done, they would put their faces right back down to their phone. I'm like, "We're in a whole nightclub. This music is bumping. Nobody's gonna go dance. Nobody's gonna do anything." So I'm just like, "All right, this is already a little funky." And we were all heading to the bathroom, and it wasn't even midnight yet. I was there for about an hour, and I looked at her and I said, "Listen, I know it's your birthday. I love you, girl, but I gotta go."
Mm-hmm.
She was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Why?" I was like, "I just don't know. I just want to go home." I mean, I'm a mom too, so
Right.
I use the kids for everything. My kids need me. She's like,
Right. She
it's
see you, so
11
baby got the
o'clock.
stomach ache.
Right, it's 11 o'clock. Well, they up and they waiting for me. So I left, and can I tell you, as soon as I left, 30 minutes later, a fight broke out, and all of them got arrested.
Oh wow. That was really God protecting you that
And
night.
I said, I gotta go. And I walked too because no cabs wanted to stop. And I was all the way downtown in New York. So if you head really far downtown, it's kind of hard to find train stations that are close if you're going to lounges. So you really have to walk. It was like 20 degrees, girl. It was freezing. I was out there in heels and I said, I'm gonna make this work. And then finally I got in a cab and headed home. The next morning, my phone was full of messages, and they all got arrested. They were there till the entire weekend because Central Bookings did not let anybody out.
Wow. Did
Yeah.
your friend hold that against you because you wasn't there?
She did for I want to say 24 hours
Right.
once because after that I said, "Girl, there's absolutely no way I would have known. Like, how am I supposed to know?" And
Right.
And we were friends before that. I want to say before her birthday. This was many birthdays we celebrated. Like it was like 3 or 4 years in already. So she knew who I was. She knew about my spirituality. She knew how I do always follow my gut. She knew all of this. So for her to come at me and say, "Well, you weren't there," and I was like, "Girl, there was nothing I was gonna do. I have kids at home. You have no kids. You're living your best life. I'm
Right.
I'm living my life for these little kids." Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So she was angry for about like 24 hours. And then after she came, she was like, "I'm sorry that I was even angry." She was like, "I should have just left with you because you were telling me something was up." Because I did tell her, I said, "Something feels funky."
Right.
So, hey, girl, you didn't want to listen. That's on you.
I know. I think as we're growing older, and like I think COVID took a turn for us a lot as far as how society is and how your energy can be off because we were sheltered more. And a lot of people like now are home, they're working remote. People are not still in the office like they were before. And so sometimes that can mess with your energy. But one thing that I'm learning is to only focus on what I can control and lead with love. When you talked about spirituality, I'm really big on that. I'm really, really big on that. So it touched my heart because that's every day. I wake up in the mornings. I have an accountability group that I fellowship with, and we just say how grateful we are for God and what He's doing in our life. We declare and we decree, and it's something that I've seen the growth in me lately, and it made me start just checking what I can control and looking at myself and leading with love, because I realized, okay, if I don't lead with love, I can't focus on what she's doing when she come out the door. Right. Because sometimes, girl, you know when you be around, you know when you done got into it with your little boo, or you know what I'm saying, or them kids getting on your damn nerves. Like, I know for me, like my kids know, like, leave me alone. Like, even my mama, girl, my mama will take me there. You hear me? My energy will be there. And then I get around my mama and I love her to death. Hey, mama, because I know eventually you're going to look at this. And she knows I love her to death, but she just, sometimes her energy and my energy don't always match. Right. So when I ask you, what's it mean to lead with love because you are a spiritual person, what does that mean to you?
I do like the holding each other accountable, because I feel when you let people slide, I don't want to, it's going to sound a little harsh, but that's not, to me, that's not love. That's not showing love. That's not showing support, because you know they're doing something wrong. You know they're doing something, and you're just going to let it slide. No, you got to hold people accountable. Accountability is a big part of who I am, because growing up, being in a Dominican household, and I'm trying to choose my words wisely here, I was gaslit a lot. So once I hit, the world, right, a lot. So once I reached the real world, for me, I thought everybody was like that. I thought everybody was coming out to get me because, I'm just who I am. When in fact, that's not really it. So I turned right back around and said, why did you guys do all of this? Like, why were we raised this way? What's going on? And to me, that's love, because I'm trying to understand it so I can forgive it and get past it. Right. Have they reached that point yet? I don't think so, but that's on them. Right. It's not on me. Right. And I'm okay with that. But leading with love, I feel like just being a positive energy, which is what we're talking about, being a positive light, being that voice of reason. I think all of that is leading with love, because everybody always thinks of like the good angel and the bad angel, on each side.
Right.
And you can always, it's so much easier to listen to that little devil and be like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to punch her in the face. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to act crazy. I'm going to curse this person out. It's very easy.
It's funny you said that, because that was me. I can say that because of situations I've been through and people that I felt like wronged me or hurt my heart, sometimes I did walk around with a chip on my shoulder. And so when I go back and think about that part, yeah, I might have came in the room a little bold.
Same here. There's nothing wrong with that. That was the old us.
Right. But me now, gosh, I'm just so grateful for this personal development, this growth, this journey. It's teaching me, and it's inspiring me, and I'm always wanting to share that with others, because I don't want to get on here and sound like this toxic positivity person, because that's not what I'm trying to represent. But I really feel like every day, like you said, we should hold ourselves accountable for what type of energy we are bringing to the table.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. You can't get mad if you wake up in the morning and you're being nasty, you're being rude, you have a rough ride to work, you have a rough day at work, and then when you get home, you're just like, woe is me, I'm so angry. No, you put that out as soon as you woke up. You should have switched that mindset, because energy attracts energy. So if you're gonna be mad as soon as you wake up, before you even brush your teeth, you're just gonna be angry.
People like that. Oh my gosh, I love my auntie to death, and I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but it's the truth. Like, I love her to death, but Some people I just can't be around.
Yeah.
And I can be around her for a little bit of time. I haven't been around her in a while, but that was just one person I thought of. Even my grandfather, like, and I love them. I really do love them, but their energy be so off. Like you said, you wake up and you mad. Now, what the hell is you mad for? You
Right.
just woke up.
Right. You mad at your dreams? You know it's not. You know you were dreaming, right? I
It's
never
crazy.
understood that. Oh boy, never understood that. Listen, I used to work with this girl, and and it's so funny because at least for me in my life, it's been a lot of the females who've been very like, oh my god, stop, it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
And she would every morning, she would come in. I would say good morning. She wouldn't say good morning until like noon. She'd be like, hey, how are you? I'm like, oh, you've warmed up? She's like, it takes me a long time. I said, girl, you know you've been up since 6 this morning. That's 6 hours of you just being miserable for no reason.
For no reason.
None.
Yeah.
I said, you woke up, you came here, and you so every time I would see her in the morning, she would be like, hi, good morning. And I'm like, that's just so fake. I'm like, but I appreciate it because you're working with it. She's like, yeah.
Right, she's trying.
And I said, listen, I read this article. You smile, even when you're mad. You just smile. You trick the brain into thinking you all good. I said, so just smile all the time.
Right.
You're gonna be all right, girl.
That's all right. And big ups to Charles and Kenny Mac. Thank y'all so much for popping in on the show and letting us know you tapping in. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yeah.
It's Saturday, and we are definitely talking about positive vibes. And Michelle brings that every time. Hey, what was something in your life that made you start like checking your energy at the door? Start actually, leading with love, like you said, and some of the things that you've been through that you could share that people are still they can't get out of that hamster wheel. Because sometimes that's really what it is. I think it's the mindset. And I don't think sometimes we think we can't change it, but our personality isn't permanent. What is something that you've been through or made you switch to start leading with love?
So growing up, my mom and my dad didn't get along too well. And there was a lot of fighting, a lot of screaming, a lot of arguing, a lot of fist fighting. There was just a lot of all of that. So every day I would go to school, I would always be like very happy and smiling because I just didn't want people to know what was going on at home. So I figured if I was sad, then everybody's gonna be like, oh, what's wrong? And I was never one of those people who like to be like coddled, like, oh, what's going on? Why are you so sad? I like to be the person who liked to make everybody laugh. Like I wanted to be, the loudest one in the room, making everybody laugh, having everybody just have a good time. And, oh, you're so funny. That's always who I've wanted to be. So I'll tell you, growing up with that experience of just having kind of a crappy household and then going to school and being this person who's like leading in the plays and singing and dancing and making up dances for the girls and, trying to like direct, although I was in like fifth grade. I'm like, oh, let's direct our first play. Like insane from this big personality. That's just who I was for my entire life. So even going through whatever I had to go through with like my kid's father, whether it was good or bad, and then, being in like a crappy relationship, I really never showed that to the world because I was always, if like everybody's going through something. I'm
Yes.
alive. My kids are eating. Rent is paid. We have room, board. We have a roof over our head. We have food. We have money. We got the lights are on. I said it's not really fair for me to go out here and just mope around. So I'm gonna make the best of it. So that's
Right.
why every time, no matter where I go, I, I I'm very unapologetic about it too. I'm just like, hey, everybody. Like it's just kind of gross.
Oh, girl, we can hang then,
Yeah,
because that's me all day.
it
Like
really is.
I'm the same way, and I'll do it too. Like, oh, my friend got married. She gonna roll her eyes if she hear this. My friend got married, and I knew like certain people. I just knew the energy in the room was gonna be all over the place because that's the type of people she hang with. And I always tell her that. And I'm like, do you realize the energy that you be around? Like, but anyway. So whenever I went to her wedding, girl. I had to make sure my hair looked good, had to make sure my dress looked
Right.
good. Cause I'm walking up in there like, hey, how are y'all? Like,
Me.
Brittany's here.
Hey, ladies.
Yes.
Hey, fellas. Oh, that's so funny. So when my husband and I, when we got married, his very good friends, which are now my friends, I love them to death. They work at the courthouse. They're attorneys, and they were able to get us like a private ceremony in one of the courtrooms, which was amazing. And
Awesome.
his best friend, the judge that he works for, she did it like personally, did the ceremony for us and everything. And I remember we had to like once everything was said and done, she was very happy, very, very sweet, very sweet. She her energy was great. And I'm telling you this story because we're talking about energy. And there's something that she told me that I found very interesting because he was a judge. And when you think about judges, you're like, okay, like very serious, very. So we had to sign some stuff, and I remember she called my name. She said, "Michelle, come. I need you to sign something, whatever, because you guys are all done." And I said, "Yes, because your sister got married." She just looked at me and she smiled. She said, "That's a first." She's like, "No one has ever done that in my courtroom." And then she gave me just for that. She gave me a hug and she said, "Your energy is amazing." She's like, and I know all about energy." And I was like, "Excuse?" I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it.
Oh,
She was like, and so she's like, "You're the light right now." She's like, "You're just amazing." She's like, "We just need to stay in contact. I just want to make sure you're doing good." So we're gonna send her a couple of pictures. But it's just very interesting how you give that out and what you get in return. I feel like I've had more positive experiences being my happy positive energy self than when I was angry walking around because I was mad at stuff. The things
right.
I attracted was just like, woe is me all the time. Like, no, but it's not. So I'm just saying, keep
I
it.
love what you said. I love how you said it. It was, first of all, you were mindful. First of all, you know that energy is contagious. It's a light, and keep doing what you're doing because you are attracting positive people. When you are positive and your energy is positive, you'd be surprised what type of people come your way. I know you have been experiencing this since you started your
Mhm.
podcast because I have too, and not even just with the podcast. Our podcast is bigger than just the podcast. It's a lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
showing that you can do different stuff outside of the 9 to 5. I know eventually we both will be outside of the 9 to 5.
Right.
And so I love how you said everything you said. It's just how you lead and
Mhm.
how you come out. But if it's something that you could say to everybody today, younger Michelle, what is it something that you could share to her that she didn't know about positive vibes growing up?
That it'll definitely open a lot of doors for you. That you'll have a lot of individuals, whether they're married women who've succeeded in their careers to people who don't have a career at all, really be mad at your energy, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're just, they're upset and there's nothing you can do about that. That that you can actually change people. You can actually bring happiness to their life when everything seems dark and you're just one little person,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but you can do that. And I think
Love
that's really something that I would love. Like, if I can look back at her and say, hey, little Michelle, like, you're going to make a difference. Like, it's going to slow and steady, but you're definitely going to make a difference. Your words will make a difference. Your attitude, your energy, it's going to make a difference. It's just going to take some time, and don't worry about anything else.
Ah, I love that. And she drops the mic. Y'all hear her today. I love everything that you said. We could talk all day. I'm so excited that you gave me a little bit of your time today. Before we go, Michelle, please let us know where we can find you at on social media.
So Instagram at its.me.shell. If you click the link on my bio, it'll take you to all my other podcast platforms, all my other social media platforms, Facebook, what else? Twitter, all that stuff. I am terrible at this because I'm telling you, me and social media just don't mix.
It's
But
okay.
but definitely on Instagram and on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. Definitely I'll send out, links and all that stuff, but it's me, Chelle Podcast. I think that's it.
You have said it all, boo. I am definitely going to put your link in the bio description and let them know where they can find the lovely Michelle. I'm definitely honored to talk to a like-minded individual today. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Now, before we go, I always ask random questions, but I'm only going to ask you one. Thanksgiving's coming up, and I want to know what you're going to keep or you're going to sweep. So since Thanksgiving, I'm gonna go ahead and just go past Halloween, honey, because
it's okay. Time is flying way too fast to even focus.
But as soon as we blink, it will be Thanksgiving. These kids about to be out of school, honey. So yeah. So make sure y'all got some food in y'all fridge, because y'all know they're gonna kill it. But okay, so we're talking about food. So what would you keep at the Thanksgiving dinner table, or would you sweep it? And you can only choose one. So you have macaroni and cheese, you have fried chicken. It's the Southern coming out of me, boo. And you have green beans, and you have ham. Which one you sweeping?
I'm sweeping the green beans.
Oh! You don't like greens? You don't like vegetables?
I do, but I eat them so much. I try very hard to eat very well. But when it's Thanksgiving, all that goes out the window. This is one day.
One day. Okay, one more. Would you rather have a shot of moonshine, or would you have a beer?
A beer. I'm a beer girl. I love
I'm a beer girl too.
Girl, I love it. Okay, so wait. So do you like craft beer, or do you like? I love craft beer.
I love craft.
All right,
girl. When I hang with my I call them my girls. I used to work at Starbucks, so I work with all types of different ethnics and stuff. And the white girls like to have fun, honey. So when I used to be with them, and we used to drink, and they would take me to these different bars, and that's what made me start liking the craft beers. And then my whole family, we drank beer. That's why we got that beer good. I need to get rid of it. But I'm excited, because I've never heard a girl besides me and my family that says they like to drink beer.
I love beer. Hey. Wow, girl. You see? Positive energy. This is what it looks like.
Yes, exactly. Check y'all energy at the door. We are signing out. This is episode number 47 with Truth Be Told Podcast. What is Positive Vibes Only with Chelle Podcast. Guys, go like, share, and subscribe to both of our channels. You guys have a good evening.
Thank
Bye,
you.
boo. Yay!